Hello, my loves, and welcome to today's episode of the Be Free podcast. Or if you're watching on YouTube, hello, hello. Thank you for joining me today. And today is a podcast that is coming up because I've had a number of people who are experiencing social anxiety, and some for the first time. So I thought that would be a really great topic for us to look at today, give you some tips and tricks to support yourself, explain a little bit about it, and just really, as I say, build up the support around you. Now, I had a client message me recently, and she was saying that in an email to me. Oh my gosh, Susie, you must think I'm really silly that I'm feeling really anxious about this situation, because she was going to meet some family. And I'm like, no, not at all. Same thing. I was on a live training I was doing about anxiety, and there was a lady who joined me who was experiencing social anxiety for the first time, and she'd hopped on the call. It was through an app called Peanuts. And if you've heard of that, it was a really, really great live session, and a super lovely community. But that's by the by. But anyway, she had come on and had asked me the question, that she had been traveling again, and that she had experienced this gripping in her chest, this sense of dread, that she just wanted to go home. And she'd never experienced that in her life before. So firstly, I want to say that given the past 2 years we have experienced, you may or may not experience an increase in social anxiety. And this is what I was saying to this American lady on the call, because she's like, I have never experienced this before. I have no idea where this has come from. So let me explain a little bit about where this has come from. So currently, as I say, for the past 2 years, you may have been in a lockdown, you may have been experiencing restrictions due to COVID, you will have been possibly working from home, doing everything from home, and we've had all these restrictions put on us. Now, whether or not you found that situation stressful, challenging, whatever, there will be an undercurrent of stress, and subconsciously, your home is your safe place. So when these symptoms are arising, when you're maybe nipping to the supermarket, or, as this lady was just like traveling for a first night away with her husband in ages, it is actually really, really normal, because we have been under this intense situation that none of us have really experienced before. There was a lot of fear instilled within us around this situation in order to stay safe, to keep our family safe, to keep our friends safe, to keep your next door neighbor safe, all those things. So we were told, to stay at home. That is your safe place. Be safe. And this was the message we were getting over and over and over again. So whether you think that you were affected by that or not, I guarantee you on a subconscious level, you will have been. So when we are now coming out and we can go and visit friends, or go to a coffee shop, or go to a restaurant for the first time, it's going to feel a little bit unusual, and it can trigger some fear within us, because, as I say, on that subconscious level, we're like, oh, well, home is safe. Home is safe. The alarm bells will be going off within your brain saying, no, stay at home, stay at home. So this is maybe why some people are experiencing social anxiety who have never experienced it before. Now, what I would say is, I had struggled with social anxiety. A little bit of background on that. I had started having panic attacks at the age of 15, and they would nearly always be when I was out with friends. Something would trigger me. I didn't even know what it was or understand why it was. But then fast forward that time on, then that grew to, going out for dinner, going to the movies, going to concerts. The theater was a big one for me. Train stations, airports, all these things would trigger this sense of social anxiety. However, I now have the tools to cope with these situations so they don't put me in such a spin. So some people, a little bit of idea about the symptoms you might experience. You might get that sense of dread. You might feel nervous. You might feel sick. you might feel dizzy, you might get palpitations. A lot of people will experience tightness in their chest or their throat. You may feel the dizziness because you're possibly not breathing fully. So, know that all of these symptoms, I'm not a doctor, but all of these symptoms aren't, they're not life-threatening. This trigger, your body's giving you these little signs like, oh my gosh, something terrifying is a way to happen. But actually you are safe within your body. It's just psychologically, your mind is setting off these alarm bells to try and keep you safe. So I used to experience panic, hyperventilation was a big one for me. Issues with my balance, as I say, dizziness, nausea, all those things. Laughing because I'm actually got an ear thing just now, of experiencing that right now. But I've learned coping skills along the way to cope with these things, and I want to share them with you now. So one of the things I discovered, as I have no issues being a guest speaker, teaching a class, doing those kind of things, yet put me as the student in a classroom situation or, in a workshop or whatever, I would start to panic. And the reason being is that I wasn't in control. So when we are sometimes experiencing anxiety, social anxiety, it's because we feel like we're not in control of the situation. So really getting to know yourself, your own symptoms is key. So I used to regularly, still on occasion do, push myself way out of my comfort zone with situations. And this really is not the way to deal with social anxiety. So we're often communicated, feel the fear and do it anyway, like all of those things. I think I did do a podcast about this, so you can maybe go and check that one out. But, that will not support you when you are experiencing social anxiety. You want to build up that sense of safety. You want to allow your body and your mind and, create these new positive neural pathways in your brain that, yeah, it's safe for me to go out for dinner. It's safe for me to be at a concert. It is safe for me to, whatever the situation is, speak in a public meeting or however your social anxiety comes up for you. So just, having a little get to know yourself, checking in, what kind of situations are triggering you, what kind of symptoms are preventing themselves, and then having a little look at, okay, so say your fear was of public speaking, right? So you might want to look for an opportunity where you could do that to maybe smaller numbers. You might want to put your hand up in your next meeting and just speak. It's introducing yourself in these tiny little incremental ways that you can show yourself you're safe, and you reward yourself. So if you put your hand up in that meeting and, put your viewpoint across, after that, I want you to be like, oh my gosh, well done. I did that. Allow yourself, so your body's like, oh, this is what she's looking for. This is what she's looking for, to check in with that. So all of these little incremental things will be really, really helpful. So same thing, say you were scared about going to the shops, for example, rather than maybe going to the supermarket for a big weekly shop, you might nip to the corner shop, grab yourself a loaf of bread, so just break it down. Whatever the fear is, the social anxiety fear, what would be the smallest little step that you could take to show yourself psychologically that this is safe? Okay. And I'm going to give you some ideas about how to prepare for things and also what to do during those situations as well. Okay. So also, you can speak about it to other people for support. Now, I know this can feel embarrassing, challenging, but if you have a good friend, loved one, or whatever with you, you can maybe just let them know, like, I'm a little bit anxious if you think I'm like being a bit funny or whatever, so I might have to nip off to the loo and do some breathing and then come back, and let other people support you as well. Okay, so I'm going to give you some of my top tips to support you before, during, and also after. And I'll explain why in a moment about the after. But before being prepared for this social situation is key. I want you to make sure that you are well rested, okay? A tired person is more likely to be anxious, hormonal, easily triggered, stress. So you want to reduce as much stress in the run up to the social situation. So as I say, well rested, make sure that you have eaten, okay? So you want your blood sugars to be balanced. So don't go eating a massive chocolate cake or something, but make sure that you have been eating regularly throughout that day. That will help balance your blood sugars, which will also help you to feel better. As I said, try to stay away from high sugar food, processed food, caffeine, anything that's going to maybe make your heart race, will not be beneficial. And yeah, make sure you've got plenty of time to get there, wherever it is you're going. There's nothing worse than trying to stay calm if you are chasing your tail. So make sure you've got plenty time, maybe some time to do some little meditation in your car, wherever you're going, or some breath work, some simple breathing techniques. You can find loads of breathing techniques from me on my YouTube channel. I'll hook up a link in the notes here of one in particular that might support you. But, just really prepare yourself so that you can feel more in control of the situation, so that you can feel rested, calm, in control. Now, once you are within that situation, I would suggest you maybe pick some affirmations that are maybe going to support you. So things such as, I love just saying, I am safe in my body, or I am grounded, happy, and safe. I am grounded, happy, and safe. So if the chatter in your head, the fear starts to kick in, use these affirmations to reassure yourself. So you can self-soothe yourself through the use of the affirmations. I am grounded, happy, and safe. So try something like that. Now, alcohol. I would suggest you avoid alcohol where possible. I used to have to take a drink to get on a plane. I, used to use alcohol in social situations to support myself. Now I don't drink at all, and I'll tell you, it's a million times better. But, alcohol is not really your friend when it comes to social anxiety. You might think it is. It might give you a little bit of that Dutch courage, but I guaranteed afterwards you will possibly feel more depressed. Your blood sugars will be all over the place. You'll probably be left with the guilt of, oh my gosh, did I make a fool of myself? Why did I say that? You want to be clear, conscious, in control, and yeah, nothing else affecting you psychologically. Just, your beautiful self. As I mentioned, limit caffeine. Don't be drinking caffeine if you're in a situation that you find stressful or will make you anxious. It will only increase your heart rate, which will confuse your body into thinking that maybe it's panicking. So try and restrain yourself from that. Plenty of water. Make sure you have water in hand. Sometimes when you're anxious, your mouth will begin to get dry. So using that, making sure that you're hydrated as well, because dehydration will make your anxiety worse as well. I like to use essential oils to support me. So I would use oils such as lavender, wild orange. If it was something really stressful, like I was at a funeral recently, or even on the day of my mum's funeral, I used the essential oil vetiver, and I would apply a drop of that to the base of my spine where your root chakra is. So your root is what keeps you feeling safe, secure, grounded. So you could use essential oils to support you. Copaiba is a great essential oil for helping you to stay calm and free from anxiety. And also doTERRA Balance. Great essential oils. And if you want to know anything about any more of those, I will pop a link in the show notes as well. I'm going to have to remember all these links I'm saying I'm going to put in. I will pop that in there as well. And then lastly, breathing. Okay, so when we're in these situations, our heart may race, and then the dizziness and things tends to come from the lack of breath. So you're wanting to focus on breathing slowly, steadily, using maybe counting breath, breathing in for 4, out for 4, in for 4. That will help balance the breath. Or you could elongate the exhale, which will help you feel even more relaxed. So maybe In for 4, out for 6, or in for 3, out for 5. And the counting will help focus the mind from going crazy as well. The breath will help regulate the body. So the breath is just such an incredible tool for pulling us back into our body. When we're experiencing social anxiety, that's a good point. Actually, sometimes we can feel like we're not even in our body. But using the breath will pull us back. I used to like doing grounding breathing as well. So really drawing the breath up from the soles of the feet to the top of the head and back down. That is a breath that I would use regularly when I experience social anxiety. Yeah, again, I will hook that one up in the show notes. And if you listen to this and you're like, hey, Susie, where's that link? I was looking for it. Please just email me and I will get that to you. But yeah, channeling the breath, breathing up and down the body will really, really help you during those situations. No one can see you're doing it, right? But it will give you that instant calm. Okay, post-event, so post-social situation. You may have had all sorts of crazy hormones floating around your body, stressy hormones, cortisol, all these things. And the next day, you might feel like you've had a hangover, even if you haven't been drinking. And this is really, really normal as well. So, your body's been under stress, it's been working really, really hard, your senses have been on high alert, you might feel more tired. So recovery is so important. As I mentioned earlier, congratulate yourself, write it in a journal, save it on your phone, whatever, like, oh my gosh, I did it. I went to the concert. Woo-hoo, well done me. Or yes, I did my first presentation. Yeah. So celebrate yourself, celebrate your success, no matter how big, how small. As I say, oh my gosh, I went to the shop, bought a loaf of bread. Go me. Yeah. You are, it's all worth celebrating because we're just creating this new neural pathways in our brain to support ourselves. Eat well, drink lots of water to recover as well, flush those toxins and stuff out your system, and then just repeat, I am amazing, I am amazing, I am amazing, I'm amazing. In fact, if you're listening, if you're in your car, wherever you are, say it now. I'm amazing. I'm amazing. I am amazing. Woo woo. Okay, let me hear you. Go. I am amazing. Cool. You are amazing. So I am sending you so much love and support. I hope that helps you. As I say, know that this is more common right now because we've all been in this little state of fear. Our home has been our safe place. So it is 100% understandable that socially you may be feeling a little bit concerned, anxious, worried, but just prepare yourself for those things. Make sure that during it that you're supporting yourself as well. And as I say, recovery is really important as well. Any questions, please reach out. I would suggest I'll pop the link here for you to sign up to my email list if this is something that that you are experiencing, because I'm going to be doing a webinar shortly about overcoming anxiety and my tools and techniques for doing that. I will pop a link here so you can sign up for my mailing list, and you will also get access to my anxiety meditation and anxiety daily planner. So I really hope that all these tools and things support you. Any questions, please reach out. And yeah, tag, share, comment, like, rate. All those things would be really helpful to me and sharing this podcast far and wide. And next week we are back with special guests. I've got loads of guests lined up actually. So after this week, I think there's like many weeks of guests covering a whole host of different subjects, from boundaries, Reiki, tarot, tapping. We've got so many different things lined up for you. So I'm very excited about that. So wishing you a beautiful week, and I cannot wait to catch up with you all soon. Any questions, reach out. I am here for you. So much love from my heart to yours. Mwah. Bye.